Hey everybody, welcome back. Brand new Take Aim podcast, and excited to get a new show out as always. And I'm with my good buddy Scotti Campbell from TAO-206 Outfitters this week. Just literally talk about everything from turkeys to hogs to aoudad to white-tailed deer, and just had a good conversation with my buddy. So hope you guys enjoy. It's a great show, and there's always something to take away when Scotti Campbell talks. So enjoy. Hey now, everybody. We are back and excited to get a new Take Aim podcast done. And with me again today is Scotti Campbell from the Texas Panhandle, TAO-206 Outfitters. What's happening, Scotti?
What's going on, Brandon? Thanks for
Not
having
much,
me, man.
Glad to talk to you.
Heck yeah.
So go ahead.
It's a little different from the last time we talked, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, you guys were froze up.
Oh, we were. We're basically just getting green grass and some nicer weather. It's been raining like crazy down here, or up here, I should say, but tons of rain. It's cloudy and murky today, and it's been like, I think we had one day that hit like 65 and sunny, and it felt like, man, I felt like it was 80 because we haven't had, any kind of heat, so it felt really good. But just starting to get that spring weather, which is really nice, but probably, unlike you guys, you probably had quite a few hot days already.
We have, man. We've had a couple days where it was 80 degrees, but we have, like, we never get like March, April rains, very little. If anything, we'll get a snow. I've had probably, I don't know, I've had 4.5 inches of rain this month. Man.
Oh, have you really?
Yes. Thank the Lord, man. It'll jumpstart these deer, They just started their regrowth, and, man, this grass is like, I've been around some old timers here, some older guys like 70, 80 years old, and said they never remember it being this green, grass being this good this early in the spring. So keep our fingers crossed, man. It's awesome.
I know historically over the years when we have talked, I think you've only mentioned rain early in the spring like this twice over the last 10 years probably. So that's pretty cool.
It's like, and March is our windy season, March and April, and it's when we usually get most of our prairie fires up here. And, man, knock on wood, there's been no fires, and just it's like it is so green and good right now. This will get us through, like, the bad times in the summer.
Wow. Will it really?
Yeah, it's all, like 4 inches of rain this month. Well, shoot, man, I only average about 18 inches of moisture a year, period. So,
wow. Yeah, you got a ton.
We're cooking.
Now, do you guys get, or maybe you don't, but we usually do, we'll get so much moisture, like overnight, Scotti, it's like wet. You couldn't even walk through a yard with tennis shoes on because your feet would be soaked. Do you guys get a week or two of that a year where you get a lot of nighttime moisture?
Not really, Brandon. Most of the time it's just out here, we're right like on that dry line. Oklahoma has more moisture, and then, we're on between Oklahoma and New Mexico up here, and ours are usually afternoon thunder showers. That dry line will start moving from east to west right in there, and so we get our little thunder showers in the afternoons for the most part, man. It's not a lot of nighttime stuff.
Wow. That's really interesting. Well, speaking of which, I mean, that makes, obviously, you said it earlier in the podcast, it makes for a great growing season for the deer, but do you have a couple deer in mind from last year that you think are going to be real, freaking studs this year?
Man, I think so. We had some deer last year. Man, we let one deer get away from us last year, like that we'd seen a couple times that we, how it is when a deer, when that one always gets away, you don't want to put a number on it. Everybody's scared to say, but like maybe 180-inch kind of deer. So that'll be awesome to see what that deer does. And then I had some more deer that like the 160th kind of deer last year, and that super excited to see what they do. And then we had a lot of like 3 and 4 year old deer that we just refuse to shoot that should really blow this year, man. I think.
Wow. That 180 type deer, Scotty, is it, what kind of frames on it? Typical, or like a 5x5, or what is he?
Yeah, just a big 5, maybe with a little trash, just a big 5x5 with a little trash, but just super heavy, just giant frame deer, just one of them that, like, when you see it, you just, oh my God, you just fall apart.
Yeah, that's cool. Those are the kind of deer I love. I love big 5x5s with junk.
Yeah.
If you could add a lot of mass to that, that'd be my most favorite type of rack if you could draw it up.
And that's typically what we get. Like our deer, we don't get just crazy, non-typical stuff. Our deer, when they start getting that big, that they start getting flowers and just start getting trashy. At 5, 6, 7 years old, big typical frame deer that start getting trash in that later years like that. And cool as heck, man. Tons of mass and just little kickers and flyers all over them, man. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. And you know what sounds so crazy? Speaking of age, Scotty, I gotta shout this out to all the Michigan guys, but a lot of Michigan guys, they don't believe that can even be true. The deer is 5, 6, 7. You get deer sometimes that's really common for you, and you even get occasionally older deer than that.
Oh yeah, we get deer, man. We'll kill 2 or 3 deer a year that I'll have to send the teeth off. Which that teeth is just, man, it's just a guesstimate anyway, looking at the teeth and aging the deer. But normally we get stuff that's pretty dang worn down. I'll send them off to like the university and get them checked. And we'll kill one deer a year that's 9 to 12 years old.
That's
yeah,
9
like
to 12.
0 teeth. Yeah, I like and be a healthy, good looking, stout deer. Just, I don't know, just great genetics, I guess. But yeah, we get quite a few deer that'll get at least 9, 10 years old, and 11. That's about probably 11 is the oldest I've seen here. But we'll do one of those a year, man. And it was like, holy moly, that's crazy that deer gets that old.
That is crazy. I would love to know, the history of that deer, and just when the teeth go or decay or however they grind them down, if that really changes their eating habits. Do they strictly go to some sort of vegetation that's just super easy that they can basically pull and chomp till they can swallow it? Or it blows my mind. But
yeah,
it's got to change the way they eat a little bit.
Oh, it would have to. But, we're so blessed here, Brandon, because you've been here, man. Like, we have, not corn, not Midwest agriculture, but we have tons of wheat pasture, and it's mostly, like we talked about on last podcast, mostly our country is all ranch country, and our wheat is primarily for cattle, but wheat is so tender and good, for the deer that it's easy to chew, it's easy to digest, and our wheat's, pretty dang high in protein. So it's kind of a win-win deal all the way around. The deer do awesome on it. And then I just think it's just so easy for them, so palatable.
It is. It is really cool that you said that about the ag, because it's so different down there. Obviously, as you know, Scotty, coming from the Midwest, you go down there and you have anywhere where it's what would you call it, a top or a bottom flat, Scotty, there's winter wheat in it, correct? I mean, almost anywhere where it's flat, you guys have winter wheat.
Correct, yes. All the canyons are all native country, native grasses, and then when you level out on top or have a creek bottom, there's a rancher putting wheat in it for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, just to draw the picture for everybody that knows winter wheat, man, it looks like the prettiest. If you could draw what you wanted your front yard and backyard to look like, that's what winter wheat looks like. It's just the prettiest, almost grass-looking stuff on earth. And you guys will sometimes, Scotty, have huge fields. I mean, from 10 to, I've seen them 50 acres full of winter wheat. And it will literally draw deer in from, and I'm not exaggerating, from miles at nighttime to these fields.
And when it like I'm sitting here right now. I was over here checking this stuff. I was telling you, but I'm sitting right on the edge of a 640 acre wheat field.
640 acres. That's almost a mile square for people.
Yeah, it's a section of wheat. But and like right now, the deer are pretty scattered, man, with this green grass everywhere. But this particular field that I'm at right now, November, when we've had some frost and it's kind of knocking all of our native country back, this field right here, man, it will not be uncommon to see 300 deer in it. And those, it's not 300 deer that live here year round or all the time, but we just start pulling deer from 2 or 3 miles away, 4 miles away or whatever it is that are kind of coming to this easy buffet, I guess you would say.
Yeah, they just love it. It is crazy. I mean, I remember seeing some fields with you that was so loaded with deer, you don't even think it's real, when you see it.
I know. We'll come over here a lot of times just glassing with guys, and like, man, it's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, it's such a sight to see, and what's crazy about that is you'll see the same thing with your guys' turkeys as well, Scotty. I mean, me and you have seen a field with 100+ turkeys in it.
Yes, there. In the wintertime, man, it's the same way. Those birds are all flocked together. I've drove up on a field and it's hard to count, but like you can try. But you may see 400 turkeys in one pile. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
and these
crazy.
wheat fields, I'll tell you something else that's cool. This wheat field right here I'm at right now, I come over here, Johnny, me, John, and my wife, we came over here back probably, I'd say the end of March, 1st of April. We just kind of gridded this section field, and I think on John hit the OnX tracker, and like we'd done 5.4 miles, just kind of gridding that field. We picked up 67 sheds and 2 deadheads between the 3 of us, in probably 2 hours.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's kind of makes shed hunting pretty easy.
That does. Now, did you end up finding anything, Scotty, that you knew of or deer you'd been watching?
Found a lot of deer we knew of, some younger deer, and some deer with super potential. Didn't find anything just like blew us away big, but some deer that we knew like, yep, he's gonna be good next year. Or I remember seeing this deer, or we go back and look at the trail camera pictures from last year and like, oh yeah, there's this one. It's that's cool. That's fun to do.
Yeah, it is fun to do. When you're out there doing it, you never know what you're going to find, and even if you don't find something just big and nasty and magical, you end up finding those deer that, like you said, you're excited about to see, or one that is going to be the next great up and comer, which is always exciting.
Yeah, very exciting, man. It's pretty dang fun.
Now, typically, Scotty, do you guys shed hunt like that a certain time of year? Do you know historically, right when they're about to drop within a 2-week period?
You do, because like yourself, it's so easy. Like I can glass my deer from a mile away. You know how it is here. It's just such open country. We can kind of cruise around and kind of glass these deer, and as long as they're still packing antler, man, we don't bug them. Just let them be, let them stay in the fields where it's easier to find. And then when we start seeing the majority of the deer that has, lost their antlers, then boom, then we'll go in and start looking for them. And it's usually, our deer, it's usually kind of the end of March before we even start looking.
Yeah, that's really cool and very beneficial for the deer herd. If they're carrying antlers that long, that overall means they're super healthy.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, and it's and then I got some places, man, I just hadn't had time to go look too right now. Like I've got a bunch of my mule deer stuff that I just hadn't had time to go in there and look for those guys. But and we don't have the rodent problem like you guys maybe in the woods and stuff have.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that.
Yeah, so an antler, we don't have any rodents here, squirrels or anything. Maybe a rat or something may chew on them, but for the most part, you can go pick them up at whatever times and not have to worry about something had chewed them all to pieces.
Yeah, do you have luck, Scotty, finding a lot of match sets?
We do, man.
Yeah.
Do, Brandon. I've had a lot of luck finding match, especially in these wheat fields. Probably that particular day that we found the 67, out of those, they was probably, between the three of us, we probably found 10 match sets that were just, boom, right together. That was pretty cool. And then occasionally a couple of times we'd find they may be 400 yards apart, and you get to putting them together and go, oh yeah, these are matched. So yeah, it's pretty common to find match sets.
That's so wild. Yeah, we up here it's the exact opposite. For one, we don't have the buck to doe ratio and the right number, so it's really hard to find any sheds. And on top of that, with what you just mentioned, the rodent problem, if you don't find them right away, they're chomped on, if not completely gone. I mean, the squirrels up here do such damage to sheds; it's unreal.
Yeah, man, I see that a lot. I got some buddies there. It's in Georgia and stuff, man. And if they don't get on those sheds right away, they're ruined.
They are. I found one nice one years ago. Nice, relatively speaking, for Michigan, like 130-inch side, and it was completely down to the bottom, just paper-thin hair on the main beam, and I just couldn't believe I've never seen a shed that was almost, completely ate up like that. But it was. It just goes to show you what they can do. They can literally disintegrate a shed antler.
Like in a super fast too. Man, right away. Them, especially in you guys' world. I guess the squirrels or whatever. Man, I guess they're after that calcium or whatever it is, and it don't take them long, and they're no good.
Yeah, that is true. But I was looking on the famous Instagram, Scotty, and I saw you just freaking swept a big old hog, man. How'd that go down?
That was cool, man. I tell you, I like, like aside from deer hunting, I'm a cattle rancher, and so my grass is is super important to me on that aspect too. And right there where I live, man, my country, like at my house particularly, is fairly open. The hogs pass through. They don't just live on me, and probably, it's been a month and a half ago, actually, a buddy of mine's got a chopper, and he does that predation deal with the flying. And so anyway, long story short, my neighbor and I, we were getting hammered pretty good by the coyotes and the pigs. So my buddy brought his chopper over one morning, and we went around, flew it, and for anybody who has not ever done, like if you've never done that, man, you put it in the bucket list. You talking about fun? Now that is fun.
It's got to be so wild.
It is, but so back to your question there. We was sitting there yesterday afternoon, pretty late, and I got a spotting scope set up in the front window so I can see everywhere, and I noticed something. It was about a mile away over there. Anyway, we noticed, oh no, there's some pigs. You can see the black over there in the brush. So my wife and I were sitting there, and I was like, come on, let's go. We jumped in the Polaris. I grabbed my bow, and we took off over there and kind of found them and chased this one around. But I probably followed this thing for a half a mile before I could get a shot on it. But anyway, pretty not probably 180-pound pig. Shot it. Of course, let the other ones get away. But this evening it'll be on.
Now, what I think's funny, Scotty, when we're hearing you talk about hogs is, I bet you the first year I came down there, which wasn't that long ago, relatively speaking, 10 years ago, you guys didn't have any hogs whatsoever.
They're very spotty, and they say there's you got two kinds of land here in Texas. You got land with pigs, or you got land that's going to have pigs. And
that's funny.
So I didn't have them then, but I got them now. And man, we try to overhaul them because, like for instance, last year in one of my pastures, I had 40 acres of wheat for my cattle, and I don't know what kind of root or whatever it was those pigs were after in that particular field. They didn't really bother some of my other fields, But that particular field, man, you couldn't have hooked up a plow to your tractor and went in there and done more damage than what those pigs done. I mean, like 40 complete acres turned upside down. Well, I have several $1,000s in that wheat.
Yeah.
And it's for my cattle, and it was like useless, no good. Couldn't do anything with it.
No way.
So anyway, that's when I'm like, well, I called my buddy. I said, "You ever get a chance to get that chopper up here? Let's do it." And like I enjoy having some pigs around because, man, it makes for year-round practice with your bow. That's fun, but I got pretty pissed at them after they ruined the complete 40 acres. So we called the chopper in, and they can't get away from me in the chopper.
No, they can't. They can't. Now, are you at the point, Scotty, where you're seeing them every day to where, if somebody wants they're down hunting with you, that you guys can do a little side action on the hogs?
Man, I do. I do, Brandon. I got some buddies who just like me. They're like, man, I got a pig problem. And so I got access to like 4 or 5 different places where friends of mine that if they're not on me, I got some buddies that like, go kill them all. And so it's and we do that, man. I just like John and I or Wes and I, we go pretty regular. We just try to spot and stalk them, get on a high hill, glass them up, and then try, they can't see or hear worth of crap. So you can get pretty close to them, and so anyway, we try to keep our archery skills honed by chasing those pigs around.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that in a way, it is such a great game just to become such a great bow hunter. I mean, it might be the best because, like you said, you get to do it in abundance. And when you do anything and put in hours and doing it over and over and getting to hunt something like that, man, you become a really good predator.
It's just practice. Like Brian Broderick knows the guy I was talking about, man. I think I heard him talking with you, and it's about time and sending arrows. The more animals you can practice and shoot at and have access to, man, I think it just makes you a better hunter and a better shot.
It does. There's no doubt about that at all. Speaking of which, was it Snyder and his wife were just down and hunting with you, weren't they? And they shot a couple turkeys as well.
Yeah, man. Aaron and Amy came down, I guess last weekend. Got here I think they came in on Saturday and stayed through Wednesday, and we had a ball, man. Which I'd set some blinds up for those guys. They were of course archery hunting, and Aaron was with that stick bow, and so anyway, we had some blinds set up in some really good places, and man, that was a lot of fun getting to hang out with those guys and watching old Snyder do his work with that stick bow is pretty dang impressive.
It is.
Well, and like Amy can shoot too, man.
Really?
She's shooting a compound, but like she can launch them. It was very impressive, and on top of it being fun too.
Yeah, that's always a blast when you have good people in camp and getting to hunt and see birds and all that. Your birds, Scotty, they're not like a Eastern, are they? They're
No, we have Rio Grandes.
Rios. Okay, I wasn't sure if you guys had Rio. I, for some reason, thought they were a little more south for some reason.
Nope, we have Rios for sure. Yep.
Man, that's super cool. That's a pretty bird.
They are beautiful birds, and lots of them, man. And like they're not cracked out like them Eastern birds either. As they're pretty. We don't hunt them that much, Brandon. I don't run just a ton of turkey hunters. And that on top of having a whole lot of birds, so they're not pressured at all, and they're not. I don't want to say they're dumb. They're not dumb, but they're just a whole lot easier to hunt than you guys' birds.
Yeah, our birds are just on a different level. I'll say that. It is crazy. I think that's pretty typical around the Midwest in general. I think they get hunted pretty hard.
They do. The Midwest, even in the Southeast, which like where John is from, there he like you got to be sharp to get one of them turkeys. Here it's just not. We'd put the blinds up, and I had them in some I know where the turkeys are always roosting, and I know where they're kind of going to on their feed route, so to speak. And we sort of just get in the middle of the runway there and set some decoys out, and it was fun. Like Aaron got his limit with a recurve, and Amy got her birds. Man, it was just super cool and fun.
Now, when's your season come in, Scotty? When's it in, and what's your tags like for, not tags, but what's your limit for non-resident?
We get four turkey tags, obviously on a set of license. My season, I'd have to look at the book, Brandon. It comes in like the last Saturday in March.
Oh, okay.
Like this year, I want to think it was like the 30th or whatever, right there at the end of March. And then it goes out like, it'll go out like in some first week or so in May. I don't know. I don't have the specifics right in front of me, but it's a long season. It's like 6 weeks.
Man, so you're right. It was March 30th, and then it goes to when in May?
It's like I want to say the 9th, 10th, somewhere in there. It's a good 10, a good full week into May.
Wow, that's super cool. So you still have
it's a very long season.
Yeah, that's crazy. So have you been seeing them out pretty much every day, strutting in the field?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you see turkeys all the time, man. They're in it's just like the deer here, because you've been here. This open rolling plains, and set of binoculars, you can find turkeys almost all. You can almost spot and stalk turkeys here with your bow. That's how I've been hunting them. I hadn't actually shot mine yet, but I have sent some of them day sixes at them. But we just kind of been spot and stalking them using, like, you've seen those. Like the scoot and shoot, or the turkey, like the gobbler fan decoy things. That
reapers.
You can get behind them and walk.
Yep.
Yeah, that is fun, man. With a bow, trying to sneak in on them like that.
Yeah, that would be a riot, especially down there. That'd be such a riot, because you could cover some ground in one of those winter wheat fields.
Yeah, you can just you can glass them so far away, man, and you can even, like in your vehicle or a Polaris Ranger or whatever, you can cut a lot of distance off to get, where you're close enough that you don't spook them, but you don't have to walk for 2 or 3 miles and get in on them, and that's pretty dang fun.
Yeah, that is fun. That would be a fun hunt, man, to come down there and just focus on turkey reaping them. That would be so much fun.
Oh, it is. You need to do it. It's a blast.
Heck yeah.
Them, you think you're shooting pretty good at the target at the house, and then, man, them turkeys. Of course, you got a little bitty set of vitals right there to shoot at, but it's dang sure it's fun, man. It's a blast, especially with the bow. I wouldn't. I don't care to shoot one with a shotgun personally. Nothing wrong with it, doing it, but just personally, I find it so challenging with that bow, and especially just trying to stalk on them. That it's pretty dang addicting, man. You got to come try it.
Yeah, I would love to. Speaking of the shotgun and the bow thing, I don't like to do it very often with a shotgun. I do it every few years, but here we can't hide behind the turkey fan or reap them. It's illegal for whatever reason. So you're only stuck to, bow hunting out of a blind, which the past couple of years I have done. But, we deer hunt so much. When it comes to turkey season, I like to be out running and gunning and not deer hunting them. And so this year I was like, I'm not sitting in the damn blind, pop-up blind. I want to run and gun and cover some ground, and the only way to do that, because you're not going to pull back a bow on a Michigan turkey without cover. And
for sure.
And so I was just like, I'm taking a shotgun this year just because I want to, like I said, there's something fun about running and gunning, and if you hear one 400 yards away, you get up and go, and if you're in a ground blind, you're there for the whole morning, and that's it, so.
Yes. But
doing it your way down there, that oh my God, that's the only way I would do it. I would never touch a shotgun ever again.
Yeah, it's fun, man. And like I say, I'm not opposed to the shotgun deal at all. And most the majority of the hunters that do come hunting here are super avid turkey hunters, and a lot of them are chasing that slam, and they're in a hurry, get her done, bring shotguns and do it. But like, heck, man, I live here, so it's just, I've got every day I want to go to go just glass some up and try to do a stalk on them, and it's just, I don't know, I'm addicted to it.
Yeah, I don't.
Kind of like the pigs, man. It's just something we can go shoot something every day.
Every day, yeah, that's pretty exciting, no doubt, for sure.
And I need all the practice I can get with that archery tackle.
Scotti, you're gonna need one of those walk-in freezers before you know it.
It's crazy, man. I've had to buy several extra freezers this year. Just different things, man. It's funny. You've interviewed Broderick, and when they were out here before, they flew in, and so they were in a hurry when we was sheep hunting, and of course we got those sheep. Those guys had to fly out on the Aoudad and get out of here, so I carried them to my processor, and Brian was like, "Get them processed. Here's how we want them done. Here you go. Go buy a freezer and put them in there till we can get back out here, and you can just have the freezer." All right, man. That's cool. So yeah, we don't have to buy any meat anywhere.
No, that's amazing. That's so nice. I mean, just super nice not to have to go purchase meat, and obviously, I would love to live like that all year. Couple deer I usually do, which is really nice. I hardly, am at the point anymore where I buy a steak, but sometimes, Scotti, you just want a steak. It's good, but
hey, I'm a cattle rancher, dude, on the side, so yes, I've got one of them put up too.
Exactly. Nothing wrong with all of it, but I do love to eat, all the game you can get, and I've heard, I don't know, Scotti, if you've ate much of it, but I've heard the Aoudad are just absolutely amazing.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Here's I get to chase them and hunt them, and we try a bunch of it, and the taste, Brandon, is a great taste. I mean, it tastes really good. Like we smoked on the Traeger some backstraps when Aaron was here, Aaron and Amy, and man, it's like it's a really good taste, but you can't chew it. It's really? Like your jaw gets tired.
No kidding. So it's real tougher meat.
It is so dang tough, man. And so what we do is just make sausage out of it.
Yeah, that's
like,
a good idea.
Sausage sticks and stuff like that, and that works good. But man, it's like I say, maybe I don't know what I'm doing cooking it, but everything we've tried, it tastes great. But holy crap, it's like chewing bubble gum for an hour. You're like, shit, I can't. Your jaw muscles get tired.
Wow, that's crazy. Now, have you tried it in burger by any means? Like just
the burger's fine. Yeah, it's okay. Great. Yeah, it's good. And then of course we'll get our guy to add some beef or pork to it, to get to just to give it a little because it's so lean, to give it some fat to keep it together, so to speak.
You have to.
But and then the sausage, man, it does good. Like summer sausage and the sausage sticks, whatever, venison sticks. It's good that way too. Yeah,
it sounds good, anyways. But man, I'm excited to come see you soon and tell everybody, Scotti, when does actually deer season start for you, and when do you start running some hunters, and do you have any spots left you want to kind of fill?
Yeah, I do, man. I like, and I got, well, our archery season comes in the first Saturday in October, and my rifle season comes in the first Saturday in November, which I usually don't run any rifle hunts until like towards Thanksgiving. I try to do my archery from mid-October until, just a little before Thanksgiving there. But I do have 2 weeks of archery open, and I like to run them at that sort of that end of October, 1st of November. I want to run it when the weather's starting to cool down pretty good, and those deer are still kind of on their summer feed pattern. They're just so much easier to hunt. And try to get the archery done before that rut kicks in, because as you know, man, like that pattern, you can throw it out the window then. Don't mean you won't see them or whatever. They're around, but the pattern that they're on is no longer once that rut hits. But so I try to do my archery hunting before then, and I do have some spots available. So for the archery deal, and it's like you've been here. It's super fun. We're a little better. I'm set up a little more archer friendly too, since probably when you were here.
Yeah, I think the last time I was there, you were. I mean, I think the archery bug was just starting to get you, so to speak, with the hunter. So, I think one of the places I hunted, you had quite a few tree stands up, but I know every year you were progressively getting better and better at it. So
yeah, we're definitely
tree stands up, for bow hunters, so to speak. I mean,
exactly, yes, sir. And we're pretty set up now. And there is some ground blind hunting. Of course, I don't just put a deer stand up year after year and say, here it is, you got to hunt it, man. We do whatever it takes to get to the deer. If we need to move it 3 times a day, that's what we'll do. And then we keep the ground blinds handy and up and brushed in, and we'll brush in we'll make a makeshift ground blind out of brush too, if that's what it takes. We killed one of the a little 9-year-old girl last year. Of course, she was shooting a crossbow, but we kind of had patterned this buck that was in a certain place, and there just wasn't a tree right there. So, man, we took and went over there one day at midday, brushed in a big mesquite tree super good, and heck, she killed a 153-inch buck, 9 years old, 19 yards.
Yeah, you cannot beat that. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yep.
What a rush. I mean, she must have freaked out.
Yeah, she was pretty stoked. I think she had an older brother that was a couple years old that really liked to hunt, and he didn't get to, I forget the reasons, he didn't get to come on the trip with her and her dad, and so I think there was some sibling rivalry fighting going on there in the house.
Yeah, he was probably not happy. So
yeah, he was not happy. But little sister, I think the guy was from Florida. They were from Florida, and so probably going to be pretty hard to beat that little brother from from Florida anyway.
Yeah, for sure that is. But well, Scotty, let everybody know where they can find you and reach out to you, and likewise, if somebody has questions or wants to come down and potentially hunt with Scotti, you can reach out to me as well, and I'll get you hooked up.
Yeah, we'll put this on the on the Instagram. It's top_O_Texas_outfitters on Instagram. Go there and follow us on there and get with me. My telephone number, of course, is on there. It's 806-203-0600, and then it's Top of Texas Outfitters on Facebook. And anybody interested, man, shoot us a message or you know me, Brandon. I'm not the greatest texter, and direct message and all that stuff's a little above my head sometimes. So I like to talk to a guy on the telephone. I can just explain a lot more as to what we're doing. But anybody interested, man, would love to have them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I'm telling you, I mean, from firsthand experience, if you go down and hunt with Scotty once, you'll be going the rest of your life. It's highly recommended from me, and guys like Brian Broderick, Day 6, and Aaron Snyder, and all that. So I'll be down this year hunting with Scotty, and anybody wants to join me, that'd be great. And speaking of which, Scotty, I'm about to go send some of Brian's arrows downrange right now. I'm headed to the archery shop to go fling some Day 6.
Man, I'm waiting on a package hopefully today. Brian was here this week, man. We were chasing those aoudads, and in those cliffs and where those sheep live, man, sometimes you'll send them off of a canyon and there's no retrieving arrows. So anyway, I'm getting pretty low, so I'm expecting a shipment right now.
You need a refill.
Yeah, I need a refill of Day 6s, but them are pretty awesome arrows, aren't they?
Oh, they're the best, man. And I'm just beyond pleased with how they perform and how they shoot, and I can't wait to start sticking some game with them because I got them right kind of late last year and wasn't able to harvest anything, after I had gotten the arrow. So I'm, hopefully I can get on board here and give Brian some content for him. But just beyond impressed how they shoot, how strong they are, and just how they penetrate. I mean, all the stuff you guys have already talked about, but you, Scotty, have told me, firsthand just how well they do penetrate. I mean, I talk about it, just target-wise, which to me doesn't mean crap, but you're doing it on game, and you've just been beyond impressed. Me and you talk offline all the time about gear, and you've had nothing but amazing things to say about them. And it might be the best hunting arrow ever made, because I mean, the stories you have told me have just blown my mind.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I'm like, man, they're. What's crazy, Brandon? Like, I think I was telling you, man. I don't want to sound horrible on your show or unethical, because it was totally not on purpose. But the other day, I was telling you, I shot a pig like it was 38 yards, a pretty good, 150-pound pig. Well, I went through that pig. Well, I didn't see, it was pretty brushy, and I knew there were other pigs there, but I didn't know it would line up like that. So anyway, I was telling you, man, I got 3 pigs with one arrow, one shot. And it was crazy that the penetration of those arrows, and like I'm probably speaking out of turn too, but like Brian and Aaron have been testing those prototype Day 6 broadheads. Wow. Wait till you get your hands on those.
Yeah, I'm super excited about those coming out too. But I mean, just what you said a second ago, I mean, just huge props to those arrows that I've never heard of anybody shooting 3 animals in one shot before. With that kind of penetration, I mean, that's unheard of.
Yeah, it was like when I walked up there and like, whoa, wait a minute here, man, this what happened? And it was pretty dang crazy. I've never seen it, like that. You blow through those animals. I've blown through them and lost losing arrow that you can't even find. It went through the animal. Wes shot an animal here probably a couple of weeks ago. It went, and I'll tell you this story, and I'm not knocking anything, but there was some buddies of his using the super light arrows with the expandables, and one of the guys shot an aoudad, man, like 4 times in the ding, right in the wheelhouse, with a super light arrow and an expandable broadhead. Well, this sheep walks off 200 yards and goes to feeding. Like, holy moly, man! I mean, like right where you should, like in the 10 ring, where you should shoot an animal. And long story short, Wes is shooting the Day 6s, and he finds one and sends an arrow through it, 35 yards. It goes through this animal, glances off a rock, and man, that arrow went another 100 yards off in a canyon and never found it. And those guys, wow. that was very eye-opening to them right there. And they was like, well, I'm getting online right now and ordering Day 6 arrows. That's crazy. Yeah. So that's what is impressive about it.
It's totally revealing when you see it in person and what it does. But yeah, absolutely crazy. Well, super excited about your pigs though. That's such a crazy story. I mean, I can't even believe it still.
Yes, it was. They're amazing, and I like that scenario right there with those 3 pigs. I actually cleaned that arrow, grabbed the arrow, cleaned it up, took another one, and had probably taken, I don't know, I probably killed 6 or 7 animals with that same arrow, pigs and whatever here recently. With the same, they're just super durable, man. You can't hardly tear them up.
I've never heard of another, arrow being able to do that. 6, 7 animals. I'm trying to think, was it, I don't know, one of the guys in the group, Brian, Aaron, or somebody had ended up shooting maybe it was Brian, like 7 animals before one broke or something like that. It was insane. And it broke from hitting the rock. I mean, so just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, like I think with Aaron, when he was here sheep hunting, man, the sheep he had shot, man, I want to say it was like 11 or 12 animals that he'd shot with that same arrow and broadhead this year. You know, it's like that's pretty absurd.
That is pretty absurd. So, but anyways, thanks, Scotti, for your time today, and can't wait to see you again, and we'll catch up and have you back on the show anytime you're ready, man.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, Brandon. I enjoy doing it, and hurry up and get down here, man. We'll chase something.
I know. I can't wait. So, thanks, Scotti, again. And as you guys know, you can find us every week on the Unfiltered Outdoor app, iTunes, Pod Bros Network, Outdoor Podcast channel, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks,
Scotty.
Brandon.
Take care, man. Bye-bye.